So Iman, Natalie, and I are so excited with this book launch and how well it's gone, and the feedback has been incredible. We've had wonderful interviews all day. So share with us what your vision and dream was for this whole launch and this book being brought to the world, and just share the process and your vision for it.
Well, this is the third book in the series of the Game Changers, and the first book originally started as a project of, let's write a nice book with good stories and stuff. And when we went through writing the first book, I saw the change that it made in our authors. Writing those stories, these are stories that many of these stories have never been shared with anybody else ever before. Like, many of these stories are the stories that even the authors didn't want to tell themselves. The stories are the stories of the moments of hardships that they went going through, that that just kind of, they didn't even want to remind themselves of those moments. And then they remember that there was this one game-changing moment that changed everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how that game-changing moment impacted everything else in their life and created what they have created today in their lives. Many of these stories are not necessarily their entrepreneurial story, although Game Changer is written by entrepreneurs, but the stories show what it takes to make a person the person that they are, to be able to have the grit and the work and the attitude and everything, and the why to do what they end up doing as a result.
Mm-hmm.
So
very much.
I am. So when we did the Game Changer 1, the first book, and then as a result of that, and the result of the impact it made in people who read it and the authors and everything, I was like, okay, we need to do this on a regular basis. Like, we need to at least publish one book a year with having all of these game-changing stories in them. And the second book was another 10 stories. And the third book, which is this book that is actually, we are going through the launch today, it's over 250 pages with, I believe, more than 20 authors. And every book gets better. Every story gets better.
Amazing stories.
Yes, amazing stories, amazing attitude, amazing lessons to learn from every single author that is in the book. So I'm very proud of all of our authors. I'm super excited for the people who are actually getting the book and reading the book, and I'm very grateful for people who are writing a review for us, because the reviews have been amazing. The reviews of the Game Changer have always been amazing. It's just amazing to read the reviews, and then some of the reviews that people are leaving are actually telling us about, like, which story actually resonated really well with them and how the story made a difference in their lives. So there's a ripple effect of positive impact that is creating in people's lives, but one person opening up and sharing the story that they wouldn't even tell themselves, and now they're telling it to the world, and now it's making
amazing.
A massive impact.
So we have seen, we've been interviewing the authors all throughout the day, and we have another one or two to go. And the one thing that each one of them have talked about is there were stories that they had to really dig deep to tell these stories, and they didn't realize that they even had a story at one point to say. And then as they started writing it, the reactions of those that know them and love them and are like, well, I didn't know that. I had no idea that you went through that. And then the other ones that have said, thank you for sharing that story, because I have had the same experience, and I'm still living that kind of rear view mirror kind of life where I'm looking back instead of looking forward. So that's the whole core of what you've put together here and the value of it. But the other piece is what I've been struck by in the interviews that we've done is that these individuals, many, many times, it's helped their story turns out to be the core of what their passion is in business.
Absolutely.
And that is fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. On that note, one of the stories that actually stands out for me is Dennis Thomas's story. And on Dennis was like when I told her, okay, I want you to actually write a chapter for the book. And she was like, well, I don't have any story. I actually have learned something over the past few years. People who say they don't have a story, their story is so painful that they don't even want to tell it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm sure that you have a story. Like, if you tell me that you don't have a story, that's the biggest sign that your story is worth sharing. Right. And the first one that you need to share it with is yourself.
Right.
And, or the process that we do to write the book, Dennis remembered her story. And actually her chapter is amazing because her chapter is talking about the time that she became homeless with her husband and 2 kids and 3 dogs. And she had to give up the dogs because she couldn't kind of manage that anymore. And that became the foundation of her passion of working with parents to help their kids to get to colleges, to universities, to serve, to achieve their higher education goals.
And do it with debt-free.
And do it debt-free, right? And
right.
That's just kind of all brings it together. It's like how story that you have that you don't even want to tell it to yourself is actually the hidden passion that you have for the work that you do. Yeah. And you just don't know it until you think about it and you go through it and you write it. And I highly recommend to anybody who is watching this to actually read these stories, because many times reading one story after another, after the next, reminds you of the depth of your experiences in your life and the things that you have gone through to be able to get to where you are today. So
it's that human connection too, because story is kind of that universal bond that we all have, and I think the biggest changes that many people have ever been able to make is to realize they're not alone in their journey, and they connect by story. And the more of us that become vulnerable enough to share our stories and to talk about it and bring it to the light, not only does that perform kind of a healing within us as individuals, but it gives another person who may be just right there on that edge, that doesn't quite know what to do with it, feels all alone, doesn't know quite how to handle, to realize that they're not really alone, that there's something more out there.
What I found really interesting is I had a chance to meet a lot of these authors before. So you meet them and you get to know them as professionals. And then when you read their chapters, you're shocked to the core that they went through that, got through it, and became the people that they are today. And often, as we talked, are helping the people that are in the same boat as they were. And that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful. So, Iman, could you this is Facebook Live. So for those that have not met you yet, you're an amazing individual within yourself. You have a big story. But tell everybody about Success Road Academy. Tell what you do and what your life is all about.
Thanks. Yeah, so Success Road Academy is one of the largest information marketing academies in the world. We work with coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, and we help them to build a business that serves their life purpose. Generally, the first step, they work with people. We help them to create and sell their online courses. But then that's just a foundation. We always say that that's just a foundation of your marketing. That's just a foundation of to position yourself as a go-to expert. However, if you want to work with people at a deeper level, you need to serve them with excellence, and that means that you need to provide support and accountability to your customers. And that's exactly what we do. We have programs that we help our students with creating their courses, but then we help them to also position themselves as a go-to expert with giving them the support and accountability. And we do that through our higher-end programs like Lead Mastermind program and our mentorship programs. And that way we can help people to make massive difference in their lives. That these are all coaches, consultants, authors, speakers who have a knowledge and a message in their heart that knowledge and message can change the world, but they don't know how to market it. They don't know how to put their message out there, or they want to improve their marketing, what they're doing. And we help them to build a business that is aligned with their life purpose. This project, the book, is actually the project that helps a lot of them to find their life purpose and where their life purpose starts, what's their story, what's their why, and why they do what they do. So that's pretty much how the Game Changer book series is relevant to what we do, because it's just the why story of our students, specifically people who are on our Lead Mastermind program, helping them to figure out their why, their story, and where their passion starts from, and gets them going.
Well, I found that, because I'm also, Natalie and I are involved with in your courses, and as I listened the other day when we had the event where we were just digging into the why and also the things that really make it all happen and brings it together. One of the things that strikes me about you is that you stand beside your students. You're not standing up here. You're standing with them, and you're kind of in the trenches with them, and you guide them in a way. And sometimes that's more than just a year's process. That's sometimes several years, or 3 or 4 years, to help them, because there's a lot of stages for people that have never done things like this. There's a lot of stages. There's a lot of life. There's all kinds of things that can get in the way, and yet you're willing to stand with them and kind of keep giving that bit of strength that is so necessary for them to get from one place to the other. And that's very remarkable, because that doesn't always happen in this busy online world that we have. It's always, there's just so many pieces that have to be done, so much work that has to be done. But you've built a wonderful team around you, and they're all good quality people that care just as much as you do. So our hats off to you for the amazing person that you are, and that has brought this together. Because I've seen, I think about Justin James, just in this book, and Let Your Nerd Be Heard. Here's a quiet man that is very into tech, and when you just on first appearance, you would not think of the depth this person has. And yet, when he came up with, and I'm sure it was through the group participation of Let Your Nerd Be Heard, that is so perfect for him.
Yes.
And it's a story that is easy. He's comfortable to share with that story, and it fits so perfectly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that, many times people say you have to have a certain type of personality, certain type of, attitude to be able to be successful or to be able to achieve your goals. And I actually never bought into that, never believed. It's like on paper, pretty much like I should not be successful at all or do what I'm doing today, Like on paper, if you go back to my life story, I couldn't pronounce 13 letters when I was a kid, and I would replace them all with D. So if anybody would know you as a child, there was no way that they would see me as a person who can become an international professional public speaker. I always hated writing. You know, I don't know, I'm 6 times international best-selling author. I think, or maybe even more. But like that's the number of the ones
Can't keep track.
I just don't remember, right? And I always hated writing. I always hated, you know, but you know, when you find something that you're passionate about and you do the work, I'm extremely introverted person. This is an interesting thing. It's just most people don't know this about me, but actually, if I go to a room that nobody knows me, I'm probably the most awkward person who is trying to hide from, you know, communicating and just goes finds a corner and, you know, doesn't know who to talk to and just kind of is hoping someone will say hi, you know. and then, and that's what I'm like looking at it as like, you know what, many times, like they just, as long as what you do, your business is aligned with your passion or your purpose, and you have the guts to follow it and to overcome all the failures and be focused on your success and care about people that you work with, you can achieve success regardless, right?
Very much, yes. And you know, that's true for myself with publishing, is when I first wrote my story and discovered how it set me free and how it changed my life and that it impacted other people's lives. That's where the passion is with the publishing and the way we do our publishing. And we try to keep it, and one of the comments of all of our interviews today, that's some of the comments and feedback we're getting from the way we have done this launch and worked with each of the clients. And it's because of the passion that lies within us to make this happen in a way that isn't just cut and dried and, you know, here's your book, whatever, you know, see you next time, but or whatever, you know. But it's that human touch, but for us, it's also how much we grow by working with each individual and reading their stories, you know, through the editing process and formatting and all of those little things. But the way that we have been able to get to know so many authors is by providing that touch, that just the compassion, the helping them through, making sure that they have and understand the whole process and are comfortable with the process.
You guys have done a beautiful job on the work that you have done on Facebook and the way that you have grown your company. I've seen your growth since last year, and I'm so proud of you guys for the amazing job that you are doing. Both, you know, the service that you are providing to people and the amazing support that you're giving the authors, and being on top of things, even with the number of customers that you guys have, and just kind of even staying on top of things is not that easy. And when you are serving your customers with excellence, you're doing amazing work, and it's something that you're passionate about and you're excited about. And no matter of the hardships of the day-to-day life, you're still on top of it and you're making a big difference in the world. So kudos to you for doing what you do to the level of excellence that you are doing it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We've got a good leader.
Well, this has been an amazing experience. We've learned a lot through this process as well. And, you know, it continues to get better because we learn with each book launch we do, each author that we work with, we learn every time. So it's pretty amazing. Well, thank you for supporting us in the way that you have. It means a tremendous amount to both Natalie and I, and it's helping us to grow. And so we thank you, and we thank you for the wisdom that you have that is helping other people become authors as well. It's pretty amazing. And congratulations on one more time being another international #1 best-selling author.
Thank you very much, and thanks for all the amazing work that you guys are doing for me and for all of our students and the authors of the Game Changer book series. And thanks for the work that you're doing in the world, because you guys are sharing the message and stories of amazing people who can change the lives of so many people, and with your support and your help, they can share their knowledge and message with a lot more people.
Beautiful. Thank you.